free game to the men who are inconsistent fathers. You might think that your child's mother, or this could also be if you're an inconsistent mother, because there are definitely some deadbeat moms. It's not talked about enough. But to whichever parent is inconsistent, you might think that the other parent is not allowing you to be around, or not allowing you to drop in and out when you can, because they're spiteful or they're upset or resenting you for whatever happened in your relationship. But that's not always true. Although that is sometimes true, you have to think about where that anger and resentment stems from. Normally it's associated with a feeling that they've had or are already familiar with. If someone has already experienced abandonment or a lack of consistency from their own parent, when they see it happening to their child, or when they see that their child will begin to experience that, they want to protect them from that at all costs. So if it costs them, having this great co-parenting relationship with you, they might forgo that and raise their child without you because of your lack of consistency, because they understand the impact that it can later have. For example, if a child gets used to a parent being inconsistent, meaning you're saying that you're going to come see them or come get them or come do something for them or call or be in some sort of contact with them, and you regularly do not do that, you regularly are not a person of your word, then they will begin to expect that from you. And not only will they begin to expect it from you, after a while they'll start to accept it as this is just who they are, this is how it is, I'll see them when I see them. And although you may think that that's just how they feel for you, that may be something that they begin to accept in others, which is terrible for them as they get older, because they will begin to have friends and love interests that maybe that person is giving them those same sort of characteristics, and they may, subconsciously even be drawn to those types of people that are going to give them those characteristics because of what they experience from you as an inconsistent parent. So if you're an inconsistent father, and your daughter, for example, gets older after being used to you dropping in and out of her life, and saying that you're going to be there and you're not, making different expectations and letting her down or disappointing her. When she becomes a young woman and she is dating and getting to know other young men, either A, she will go in the total opposite direction of that and say, if you're not consistent to a T, 100%, is get away from me, I don't want to talk to you, fuck you, we're not going to be able to have a relationship because I need this consistency because of what I didn't have, and that I understand that. And that's normally a woman or young woman that's evolved, that maybe even has went through therapy for it or some kind of way got some healing or understanding about that on her own. But most of the time we don't see that. Most of the time we see people go in the direction of the negative behavior that they've seen in their own lives, and they end up choosing someone subconsciously. Most of the time they end up choosing someone without even knowing that they're doing this, choosing someone that is inconsistent, that does not give them what they need, that it does not regularly make sure that the relationship or them is attended to, or they accept less than what they deserve from people. They allow people to disappoint them on a continuous basis, or they end up being attracted to someone who is going to do that to them. So I definitely understand the mothers and the fathers that decide that this parent has said, these last 5 times they said they were going to come and they didn't show up. Or these last few times they said they were going to call and they didn't call. This last few times they said that they were going to do whatever it is and they didn't do it. And they try to give the person a chance, and after a while they say, I don't want you to come around anymore. I don't want you in the child's life anymore. Or unless it can become a consistent thing, this doesn't need to happen. You can go on with your life. You can sign over your rights. You can whatever. I kind of get it. And if this is something that maybe the person was real involved in, later on in life, they decide or something different happens and now they're on a different plane, and your child is old enough to discuss it and decide for themselves if they still want this person in their life, then leave that up to them. But when your child is small, we're conditioning them, and children don't do just what we say. They do what they see, they follow what they see, they remember what they see and what they felt. So if your child is a baby or toddler or something like that, 3, 4, whatever, they're going to have these experiences deeply seated within them, and that's what comes out in that subconscious later in life a lot of the time, or that's the result of it. So again, I really see why the custodial parent a lot of times will decide to shun or cut off the non-custodial one if they have shown that they're not consistently trying to do something. Now, absolutely, if a person is trying and they are making an effort, and when they say they're going to do something, they actually do it, even if it's not to the magnitude that you think it was going to be. They said they were going to be able to get $500 worth of gifts. They could only get 50, but they still showed up, they still came, they still brought something. I don't think that's a problem, because there's an effort there, and the child is seeing that effort is being made. Okay, but again, I wouldn't get the child's hopes up all the time and let them know, hey, they're coming. Let it be a surprise. Let it be a surprise. If you're not for sure, because what we don't want to do is build up, just like the song, why do you build me up, buttercup baby, you let me down. We don't want to build up things in our children's minds and then have it be let down. Build them up for stuff that that you can do. Build them up for stuff that you have control over, and I know I can execute this, if you're not able to depend on what that other parent can do. But free game on that. Basically, don't be that parent. And if you are that parent that is a custodial one that is in this rock and a hard place of whether or not I need to keep my child away or allow it, free game for you is keep them away. Keep them away if it's inconsistent, because it's unhealthy for them, not just for the person that they are today, for the person that you're building and helping to become, because we're supposed to be ushering them into becoming productive members of society. It's very hard to be a productive member of society if you have a whole lot of mental and emotional and socioeconomic shit behind you that your parents have allowed in your life. And if you're allowing someone to halfway be there for your child, allowing someone to continuously disappoint them and tell them one thing and it becomes another, then your child may end up seeing you as part of the problem. And even if they don't see you as part of the problem, you were. Have a wonderful, beautiful blessed day. Like and subscribe. Tell me what you think in the comments. Toodaloo.